Oui, j'adore. Oui, j'adore. Bonjour, mon ami. Today I am back to recap the latest episode of Drag Race France All-Stars Queenovision. The queens walk back into the workroom after La Big Bertha's elimination, and Moon says she still has a lot more to prove. Cam reveals that she also would have eliminated La Big Bertha. And I do wonder how Bertha felt knowing both of her season 1 sisters were going to eliminate her. J'accuse. So it's a new week in the workroom and we have our official top 6. Ellipse and Mummy are leading the pack with 2 badges each. At that moment, Nikki Doll enters the workroom and announces that the queens have 5 minutes to get into quick drag. For this week's mini challenge, the queens will have to get into teams of 2 and decipher French expressions. They only have 2 minutes to guess as many French proverbs and sayings via a game of charades. It was really entertaining and educational for me. And Piche and Ellipse end up winning by a landslide. So for this week's Maxi Challenge, Drag Race France will be paying tribute to Eurovision with their own version titled Queenovision. And just like the mini challenge, the queens will need to remain in the same pairs. There will be 3 songs, Oui, j'adore, French Cake, and Révolution. The choreography for the songs will be taken by this week's extra special guest judge, Medhi Quresh. But the queens themselves will need to come up with the original staging. They will get to choose from the 3 French flag colours, red, blue, and white. As the winners of the mini challenge, Piche and Ellipse get to pick not only their colour, but their song as well. But before we get into the preparation, Nikki reveals a secret red lipstick, teasing that the winner will get to obtain it and wield its mystery power. What that power is, we don't know yet. So Piche and Ellipse end up choosing the colour red and the song Oui, j'adore. Misty and Cam get the colour blue and the song Revolution, which leaves Mummy and Moon to get the colour or the shade white and the song French Cake. On Elimination Day, the queens discuss their love for Eurovision, finding work-life balance, and burnout. Piche in particular talks about how she's worked 24/7 since her original season aired, in the fear that if she wasn't showing excellence 24/7, the people in her life wouldn't want to be around her. She also admits to having abandonment issues, and as a well-known Piche stan, 1, this episode was for me, but 2, she could not be more wrong. Piche is an icon, a legend, and super lovable, and I've been seeing online that some people are saying that her runways are too much and too over the top. Do you know what drag is? So on the main stage this evening, we have the fabulous Nikki Doll. Absolutely gorgeous, face card never declines, no notes. We are also joined by Daphne Berkey, Shaim, and extra special guest judges Judith Goodresh and Medhi Quresh. So it's time for Queenovision, and I think Piche was absolutely the standout in her pairing. She's just such a natural performer, hitting every beat. Ellipse did well too, don't get me wrong, but I don't think she could keep up to the level of Piche. Mummy absolutely killed French Cake. She was so hot. Moon was also really, really sexy, but you could kind of tell that she was in her head a little bit. And guys, if you didn't know, I'm a huge Taylor Swift fan. She just announced her latest album this week, and this is still my favorite thing that I've seen this week. So you know that's saying something. And in Misty and Cam's group, it's no surprise that Misty was the stronger performer. Cam is known for being out of sync, especially in a performance challenge, but she definitely tried her best. So category is Circus Couture, and I gave my top 2 to Ellipse. I love clowns, I love jesters. This was so well executed, she even juggled. Magnifique. So before we get to the judges' critiques, Nikki pretends like she's going to do the whole who should go home this week and why thing, but instead she asks the queens to move over, and one by one the eliminated contestants return, wearing their runways for this week's theme, which I think is great to see. Suddenly, the purpose of the red lipstick became clear, and sure enough, Nikki announces that whoever wins this week's Maxi Challenge can use the lip sync to save one of the bottom queens, or bring back one of the eliminated contestants, but they can only choose one. But that's not all, because if the winner decides to bring back one of the eliminated queens, both of the bottom 2 need to go home in their place. Gag. Like, this has never been done before. So it's time for the judges' critiques. Up first is Piche and Ellipse. They were definitely the best pair of the 3, that they both shone in their performance and both their runways met the theme of Circus Couture. Next up is Moon and Mummy Wata. Mummy is told she dominated the stage with her confidence despite being anxious in the choreography sessions. They recognized that Moon was in her head, but she was able to keep the sensual movements going and make the performance super sexy. They were also told that both their outfits were incredible. Last but not least is Cam Yu and Misty Phoenix. They are told that their hard work paid off. This is a comment that they made to Cam a couple of weeks ago, where they say that even though she is a bit awkward in her movements, she works really, really hard, and that is a commendable thing to see. They worked really well together as a team. Peach and Ellipse are made the top 2 of the week. Yes! We used to pray for days like these, which means they are also the first 2 to make the semi-finals. Mummy and Moon are made safe, which means Misty Phoenix and Cam Hugh are up for elimination. In Untucked, the contestants get to reunite with their eliminated sisters. They plead their cases as to why they should return, but it is evident that Peach is struggling more than Ellipse. Because on one hand, she would love to give Punani a second chance, but she also knows what it's like to miss out on a finale, so taking that away from Misty or Cam is complicated. Back on the main stage, the pair lip-sync to I Had a Dream by Nikki Doll, and I couldn't find any pictures of that performance, I'm so sorry. Peach gives it every single thing she has. She even brings out her dummy to dance with. She ends up winning her first badge of All Stars France, and I could not be happier. Like, I love Peach so much. I don't think I've said that before. And so it's time for the toughest decision yet. But Peach ultimately chooses to save Misty Phoenix, meaning we lose Cam Hugh. It also means that none of the eliminated contestants can return. But I did think for a second we might get Punani back. And that would have been iconic, but I think it's fairer that Misty stayed. And I'm really going to miss Cam Hugh. She was in my top 3 preseason. I really love her. She's shown a lot of growth and she's just so adorable. So we wish you all the best, Cam. And so, my friends, we now have an iconic top 5 fighting for a spot in that finale. And next week will be a roast, which should be really interesting. What did you think of this week's episode? It's no secret that I'm thrilled that Peach won, but I'm also sad that Cam left. I do think it was her time though. She had been in the bottom a couple of times now. And whilst the red lipstick twist was really fun and something we haven't seen before, I really didn't think that they were going to be picked and they were going to send 2 of the current contestants home. I feel like that would have caused a lot of backlash. But let me know what you think, and I'll be back very soon with another video.